Well, hello everybody. This is Mr. Wes Moore, and I am your instructor for this course on sales strategies. I am so excited to teach this course. I've wanted to teach it for many years. So glad to have you on board. Let's go ahead and get started. The purpose of this course is to introduce you to the career of professional sales and to train you on the key aspects of the role. I've been in sales for many years myself, so I know quite a bit and I can share a whole lot with you. I'm looking forward to that. And my goal overall is really twofold. It's first to give you a snapshot of what sales is really all about, so you can decide whether or not you'd want a career in sales. And then secondly is to give you the basic tools to carry out the tasks of a professional salesperson should you decide that you want to pursue a career in sales. So that's the broad goal of the course and of this video series. So now let's look at a roadmap for what we're going to talk about in our 6 sessions together. The first thing we want to do is introduce the whole concept of personal selling to you, and that we'll do in this first session. And then our next video, we'll talk about building trust with customers. A very important part of professional and personal selling, building trust with customers. In our third session, we'll talk about buyers, needs, and questions. We'll get into the issues of what kind of buyers you might be selling to, how markets are set up. We'll talk about customer needs and how you, through questioning, can identify those customer needs. And then in our fourth session in the series, we want to talk about what I call the holy grail of selling, which is customer relationships. What we're going to find as we go through this is that this is really about developing relationships with customers, personal and professional, so that you can better serve their needs. So we're going to talk about that in our video session 4. After that, we'll get into the sales call. We'll talk about how to prepare for a sales call, how to conduct a sales call, how to follow up on a sales call, everything about sales calls in video number 5. And then finally, we'll talk about finding new prospects in video 6. After we're through with the entire sales process, we want to look and ask, hey, how do we find customers? How do we find new clients to sell to? That's what we want to spend our time on in session number 6, video number 6. So let's begin then with session 1, Introduction to Personal Selling. Let's give you a quick roadmap of what we want to talk about here today. First of all, I want to tell you a little bit about my experience and my career in sales. I've been in it for a long time, as I indicated before, and just share a little bit about what I've been through and what I know. Then we want to talk about sales. We want to define what sales is, and we want to talk about the specific type of sales that we're going to focus on in this course. After that, we'll talk about the core of the sales process itself, the sales function, which is identifying and meeting needs. We're going to talk a lot about needs and a lot about value in this course. And then finally, we want to talk a little bit about the benefits of a sales career. Why is sales a good career, and what kind of people might consider a career in sales? So let's get started with my experience. Let's talk to you a little bit about my sales experience. So I've been in sales now for 25 years. Yeah, I know, it makes me pretty old. But I've been in business-to-business sales. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, define that here in just a moment. But I've been in business-to-business sales for over 25 years. The field that I've primarily been in is a technology field. So that would include technologies like fiber optic cable, security systems for commercial businesses, audio-visual for commercial businesses, wireless systems for cell phone boosting, also for life safety, security type stuff inside buildings, fire safety and that kind of thing. And I've worked in all the areas of what we would call the sales channel. So I've been with a manufacturer, I've been a sales professional for a manufacturer, I've been a sales professional for a distributor, and I've been a sales professional for a contractor. I've been in the entire sales channel selling in one form or another. And I'll explain the difference between manufacturer, distributor, and contractor in another video. But I've just been in all areas of the business-to-business sales channel. Primarily what I've done is call on architects, engineers, end user clients such as hospitals and businesses, K through 12 education, and technology contractors to sell these kinds of high-tech systems. So that's essentially what I do, and I even do that right now as I record this video. My other job is still in technology sales. But the point in telling you this is to let you know that I have a very good understanding of this field overall. I understand professional sales extremely well. And I'm going to be able to help you understand this subject far beyond what you could get from just reading a textbook. So let me take the time now to just encourage you to watch and study these videos as we go along. The video content is going to be on the quizzes. You'll see that in the syllabus and online. But more than that, this is where you're going to learn how to actually be and do the role of a salesperson, a professional business-to-business salesperson. So don't skip over these videos. Don't skip through these videos. Take the course seriously and take advantage of this material. It'll be integral to your learning, and it will really help you if you pay attention and learn from me, from all of my experience. So let's move on now. Let's talk about the content for our session. Before we do that, let me just note that from a textbook standpoint, the basis of this course is Cell 6 by Cengage. And in future versions of this course, I'm sure we'll use the same textbook. We might use the next version. It might be Cell 7 or Cell 8. So, but still, that book is the basis for some of the content. Now I'm going to integrate a lot of my own experience and expertise as we go along into this video. But when we talk about textbook material, this is the textbook that we'll be talking about. So let's go ahead and let's define personal selling. Just what is personal selling? Let's look at what the Cengage textbook says. The definition from the textbook is this. Personal selling is an important part of marketing that relies heavily on interpersonal interactions between buyers and sellers to initiate, develop, and enhance customer relationships. Now that's a whole lot of words there and a whole lot of 3 or more syllable words. Let's go through this here quickly. The first thing that they mention is that it's a part of marketing. It's a part of marketing. Sales, so we could talk more in depth about the narrow and broad definitions of marketing. The broad definition of marketing is that marketing is inherent in the entire organization, regardless of what you're doing. But it seems to be that they're using the narrow definition of marketing here, which is pretty much equivalent to advertising and promotion. So they're saying that sales, personal selling, is a part of the company's efforts to market, promote, and advertise its products. All right, that's important. Okay, it's a way that companies promote their products. But then they go on and they say that it relies on interpersonal relationships, interpersonal interactions. And what they're getting at here is that in the professional sales world, we're not reaching people in mass with some big ad. We're going to them directly one-on-one with an individual who is employed by our company to do that. And so their job is to interact directly with the customer, not just do something from a broad marketing standpoint. And then third, they talk about the goal of personal selling, and they say that that is to initiate, develop, and enhance customer relationships. So just look at these terms here. Initiate a customer relationship. So my company may not know anyone at company X. So my job as a professional salesperson is to initiate the relationship, get it started. And then I am to develop that relationship, learn more about that customer, have them learn more about our business, and then I am to enhance that relationship. Over time, I'm looking to build it and expand it. Sales, personal selling really is about one-on-one relationships, and that's what they're talking about here. But I would say that this is a little bit of a limited view of what the goal of personal selling is. Because you see, I can initiate a relationship, I can develop a relationship, I can even enhance a relationship with a customer and still not be able to sell them anything. I have a number of customers that I call on, they just buy a little from us, but I don't get a lot of business from them. So my goal is not just to know the people, to develop a relationship and enhance it. That relationship has got to produce something. And that is profitable, ongoing sales orders. That is my job. My job as a salesperson is to create orders for my company. I want that customer to buy something from us, and I want them to buy it at a profitable margin, a profitable price, and I want them to buy it in an ongoing fashion. I have customers every day who email me and call me, ones that I've met with in the past that I have a relationship with, and they'll say, hey, I need to order this, or I need to add this, or I need to order this. But I'm always looking not just to have a relationship. I'm looking to have them come to me, buy things that I can sell profitably and that I can sell in an ongoing, continual manner. That's really what our goal is. Okay, so let's add that to the definition that the textbook gives us. Now, this course focuses on a particular type of personal selling. There might be more than this, but in a general sense, there are really only two types of personal selling. There's just two various types of it. There's retail personal sales, and then there's business-to-business personal sales. So let me explain those to you now. Let's talk about which one we're going to be involved in. Retail personal selling is when you sell to individuals who do not resell to others. This is when you're just selling to an individual, a single person that is not a business or an ongoing or an institution or a government entity or an organization. You're just selling to the individual. And these people are not reselling to any other people. Their job is not to produce anything for anyone else or sell anything to anyone else. They're in essence the end user, the last person that's going to touch this product, the person who's going to consume it and use it, and that'll be that. Let me give you some examples here of personal sales types of situations. Let's say a department store. Let's say you work for a department store, maybe like Kohl's or something like that, and it's your job as customers come in to talk to them and find out what they need and to sell them stuff. Well, those people who are coming into a department store are the end user. They're not buying that material to sell to anyone else. They're not buying it necessarily to use it in their business. So that's really not a business-to-business sales type of environment. That is an individual retail example. Real estate, by and large, is another one. If you go out and look for a house and you hire a real estate agent, that agent really just working for you. When you buy that home, it's yours. You're not really selling it to anyone else, and you're not using it in a business, that kind of thing. It's just a one-on-one retail sale. And then the third one here is maybe car sales. You work at a car lot and you're a salesperson, and people drive on the lot and you talk to them and you try and sell them a car. That would be considered retail sales. But there is another type of sales, we've already hinted at it already in the course, and that is business-to-business sales. Business-to-business personal selling. And we abbreviate this B2B. So as we move through the course, we're going to start calling this B2B, B2B, business-to-business personal selling. And business-to-business personal selling is when you're selling, as an individual salesperson, you're selling to companies who resell what you use, resell it in another product they make, or they use it in their business to be able to sell stuff to someone else. So really, this is an individual calling on another business to sell them stuff they use in their business or things they use to make their products that they sell to other people. That is B2B, or business-to-business sales. Now let's take this example, these three examples that I just gave you of retail sales, and look at how those can be changed to business sales. Let's say that your job is to go into department store chains like Kohl's or Walmart or Target, and let's say here that you're selling them the hangers that they use to hang their clothes on. You see, they're not really, they're buying that so they can use it in their business. They're not buying that directly, so maybe they can go home and hang it on their in their closet. So if you worked for a company that made hangers and you called on businesses that used hangers in their business, that would be business to business. You see how that works? Let's say that you work for a company that does advertising signs. They do signs and print media and stuff like that. So that's a business. And you were going to the local real estate offices, and you were trying to sell them the signs that they put out in front of the properties that they sell. See, you're a business selling to a business. You're not selling to an end user, an individual. See, that would be business-to-business sales. And then in cars, let's say that you worked for a technology company that sold personal computers, and you went into a dealer, a big dealer in the area, and you tried to work with their management team or their IT team to sell them new computers and iPads and things for their business. Well, now you're not selling retail, you're selling business to business. That's how that works, okay? Now, in business to business sales, B2B sales, here's what the salesperson does. The salesperson from the selling firm, let's take the hangers, meets in person with a buyer or decision maker from the other firm, that would be the buying or purchasing firm, to discuss the needs, present product solutions, and negotiate an order. That is what a professional personal salesperson does in the business to business world. They meet with customers, they identify their needs, they present product solutions, and they negotiate orders. That is the role, that is the function of a personal sales professional. All right? Now, it's very important here early in the course that I tell you that what we're talking about here is not your typical sleazy, stereotypical car salesman. All right? That's not what we're talking about here. You've got to get that completely out of your mind. Now, certainly there are professional car salesmen. And I have a friend who used to own a car dealership, and he's a man of high integrity, and he was very professional. So I'm not just saying that car salesmen are sleazy people. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that from what we traditionally think of as a lying, manipulative, greedy salesperson, that's not what we're talking about here, all right? A professional B2B salesperson is just that, a professional. They tell the truth, they care about their customers, and they serve a valuable purpose in the market. That's the kind of sales that we're talking about. That's the kind that I do, and that's the kind of profession that we're putting forward for you here in this course. As such, professional salespeople don't focus on themselves first. They don't even focus on their own company first. They are focused on their customers' needs. That is really the core of the sales function, is to identify needs, identify and meet needs. The goal of a professional salesperson is to make their customers' jobs easier, to make their customers' companies more productive, to make their companies more profitable. They're a professional salesperson focused on the customer's needs, and then bringing value that their firm has to solve those needs, to help overcome those obstacles, to help increase productivity, to help increase profitability, and all of that. That's really what a professional salesperson is doing, and that is the core function. And what we're focused on as salespeople is needs and value. Needs and value. We're not trying to trick people. We're not trying to manipulate people. We're not trying to use a set of clever questions or a clever process to get them to buy something they don't want to buy. That's not what we're doing. We're focusing on needs, real needs, and trying to solve that, bring to those needs true value. Okay? We'll discuss this a lot more as we go along in the course. So let's talk about a sales career. A sales career. Because professional sales is so valuable to businesses, because of this function that it serves in taking the products to the customer, finding out the customer's needs, and solving those profitably for the business, it's an excellent career to choose. It is a career. Now, there are a lot of sales jobs that are kind of not real serious jobs, and I'll talk to you about different types of sales as we go along, the ones that you want to get and the ones you don't, the types of sales jobs. But a professional sales job that I'm talking about here is a great career. The jobs typically pay extremely well. They offer a lot of flexibility in terms of schedule, and they can include travel if you like travel. I've had jobs where I covered most of a state. I've had jobs where I covered just a city or a small area, a 2-hour drive. There are sales jobs where you fly all over the country. There are sales jobs where you fly all over the world. You don't have to travel. There's different ways, but if you like travel, then that's something that brings to the table. A sales career is a good career, and it might be right for you. So what kind of a person would enjoy a sales career? You say, well, Wes, Mr. Moore, I like what you're saying here, but how do I know if I'm kind of in the right mold to do sales? Because not everybody can do it. It's not for everybody. Well, if you like people, if you like talking to people, interacting with people, meeting with people, then sales might be for you. If you like to solve problems, a lot of sales is solving problems. You might like a sales career. If you don't like getting stuck in an office for 40 hours a week, I've always worked, we're talking now a lot about people working remote, working out of their homes. I've always done that for 25 years. And then so I'm out making sales calls and back in my office, out making sales calls, back in my office, going on a trip, back in my office. It's a really dynamic kind of job. If you don't want to sit in an office for 40 hours a week, you want to get out, do things, move around, meet with people, then it could be for you. If you like learning about products and technologies, new products and technologies, a salesperson is constantly being trained, constantly has to learn, constantly on the edge of technology, and really whatever field you're in, there's going to be some kind of technology. And then if you like being paid for your performance, in other words, if you're the kind of person who says, look, I can do this, I want to make $200,000 a year, I want to make $300,000 a year, I don't want to cap on my income, I don't want to just punch a clock and get paid an hourly wage. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you don't want to do that, and if you believe in yourself and you want to get paid for your performance, sales is a great place for you to go. So this might be a good career for you if these things describe you. Well, that's really session 1 here. Briefly, a quick introduction to personal selling. In our next session, we want to talk about building trust with customers. The all-important process of building trust, getting them to trust you, believe in you, count on you, and therefore buy from you more and more. This is the absolute foundation of success in sales. So we'll talk about that next time. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this session, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video. Have a great day.